We're live. We actually got Kristen Dunsmore, fresh off of a bronze medal showing into the 500 Wilks, heavily hyped 63 kilo showdown, turning into like a lioness cage in there. Like it's crazy battles every time. And so I guess we'll start. I guess we could take it from the top if you want. Kind of how you first got into powerlifting.
I actually kind of fell into it. It wasn't anything that I really wanted to do. It just, I went to school during my undergrad. I was at the University of Tampa, and I was working in a lab, and they were running like research, and they did a lot of like resistance training exercises. And my professor was kind of like, well, if you want to work here, you can't, like lift like a girl, pretty much. You gotta lift. And I was like, okay, sure, why not?
Little did they know. Yeah, all right, I'll handle myself. I'm up for the challenge.
Definitely, like, okay at it, I guess.
So how old were you at this time then? How old are you right now? Because you look super young.
I'm 28.
Wow, okay. Wow, what's your moisturizer? what's your skin tips then? I got a girl. This is coming, not from the outside. I got a girl. I'm just asking.
I wish I had like something cool to tell you guys.
You're actually
like Dina, Walmart.
That's right. Okay, well there you go. Just good genetics. So how old were you when you first started lifting weights then?
I guess I always did, because I played basketball and soccer, and then I ran track.
Yeah.
So I was always like have that athletic background, but I didn't get really into like focusing on lifting specifically. So college.
And how old were you?
I was like 22, 23.
But you were lifting weights though before that though? Just not like, were you squatting and deadlifting or?
No, I would lift, like go to, like a commercial gym and do the machines. But I never actually squatted, until I was in college.
Wowzers, you picked up quick, right? You really took to like a fish then. So previously, all the sports you were doing, like track obviously takes a lot of explosiveness and leg drive, etc. Were you like a long distance track runner or?
No, I was like 100-meter.
Okay, that makes sense. If you're running marathons, that's not going to help in terms of squatting. Were you good at sports when you were like coming up through high school?
I was okay.
Yeah, pretty good. Do you have sisters and brothers?
I have a little sister.
Okay, is she a good athlete?
No, she's the complete opposite.
I love how quickly you shot that down. I thought you were going to be like, she's not bad.
Miss, princess type of, complete opposite. Always, dresses up and, hair is always done, makeup. I'm like, well, I wear jeans today.
Yeah, girl. How much older are you than your sister?
She's 26.
Oh, wow.
So I'm 2 years older than her.
That's the same as me and my brother.
Really?
And we grew up scrappy, man. That was probably the reason I started lifting weights. So my big brother wasn't picking on me anymore.
Oh, see, I was the big sister, so I was always beating her up.
Yeah. And now you're just maintaining that edge. You got to keep that edge now. That's just it, right? Keep her. Okay, so throughout high school, you were doing sports like track, etc. And then into college, moved in, started venturing into lifting weights, but was there any powerlifters there, or how did you get into more of a power lift?
Well, like I said, my professor, they were doing research, and a lot of what we were doing research on was we were working with athletes, and they were promoting a supplement, or they were trying to see if this supplement worked, whatever. And then so we had a training protocol that was like squat, bench, and deadlift, and then over the 12 weeks, we kind of compared their 1 RM in the beginning and then at the end. And so I would actually just do the workouts. Yeah. So I wasn't in the research, I wasn't in the study, but I did the workouts, and I was kind of good at it, I guess. Yeah. So they had people who were into lifting, and they kind of were talking about powerlifting. And at the time, I can laugh at other people because they do the same thing, where I didn't know that, bodybuilding, powerlifting.
Yeah.
I don't know the difference.
Yeah.
And that was kind of, my take on it at the time. And then you know, like as I learned, and I was like, oh, well, that sounds kind of fun. Like I could do this. And so, yeah, I think I was like 22 at the time. My first meet that I ever did wasn't until 2014.
So this is, 22 was 5 years ago, but you just waited a little bit?
I think I was scared.
Yeah, well, that's all.
Like, to get a first meet.
Yeah.
And in hindsight, it's funny because the first meet that I ever competed in, at the time, I think it was like 3 girls.
Yeah. Well.
And then like little teeny tiny room, and there might have been like 20. It was a small meet, but yeah, I was really nervous about doing it, and so I'd always say like, you know, I'm going to do a meet, and then I would always back out just because I was like,
It's so crazy that like that was you, and now look at the type of situation you walk into for the 63 kilo USAPL. And look, we're in Canada. Everybody was watching. You know what I mean? Like USAPL, oh yeah. And in terms of the lead up, like not that we'll go back to the start. I don't want to jump ahead, but the lead up for your weight class in particular, like if that Kristen knew what this Kristen was going to be doing, pretty intense, or future Kristen, who knows? But
yeah, this nationals this year for 63s was like really intense. It was kind of like first time I think ever where it was like, I don't know, it really could have gone either way.
Well, 100%. Oh yeah, like they're like super heavyweight men who are like, I can't wait to see 63 kilo women showdown. You know what I mean? Like they got everybody hyped up, which is good. You need direct competition. But one thing I want to ask you about that study about the supplements. You don't got to name companies or anything, but did you like some of these supplements in terms of your studies? Do they work? Some of these, like, did you see like? No, not really. No, it's not.
I mean, I don't say anything, but yeah, I mean, I don't know.
What stuff? Is there some that you take? Put it that way. Let's put it this way. What would you spend your money on?
I take creatine.
Yeah.
That's pretty
standard. That's standard.
Like a protein.
Yeah.
Shake when I'm like okay, I'm supposed to do it. I know I should, but I never do.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, that's it. Well, and I guess like if I like vitamins and stuff, so a multivitamin and vitamin D.
Pre-workout? Do you do like pre-workout or anything like that?
Not really. Sometimes I do. I guess if I'm going like really heavy, I will.
Yeah.
Just because I don't know. Sometimes I just like have to get myself like psyched up and like motivated. But I guess more so when I first started taking like pre-workouts, I felt it more. Whereas now, it's just like I don't know. Maybe I just drink too much caffeine.
Yeah, no, 100%. Honestly, if I'm training too late in the day and I take pre-workout, I'm like full laundry at midnight. You know what I mean? Like it's just too much. Or like you kind of start getting used to it. So I'll take it if I'm like, we do the same thing over and over every day. So eventually you're like, man, I got to get up a little bit somehow for this particular day. So I know what you mean. Where it's almost like you save it like a secret weapon, right? And now, okay, I'm coming in hard this one. I got pre-workout going, right? So you started your first meet. So when you first started lifting weights, and this is before your meet a few years later in 2014. Did you have a coach, or did you know about like high bar, low bar, sumo, or did you just kind of work it out on your own?
I didn't. So actually, that's a funny story because I competed my first meet official meet that I competed. I'd been training, but like I said, I would like bitch out a little bit and like I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
But so that one was in January of 2014.
Yeah.
And I remember because I'm sure a lot of people do this, so it's kind of funny looking back. But it's like you're just ultra conservative. Like I don't know, it's like I've hit a max, but my third attempt was like 20 pounds less than like I was so scared.
I've done that.
And like I remember the girl or the lady who I think I was giving, it was like my bench attempt for my third one, and she told me no.
What? No. She hands it back. Come on, man. Come on.
Like, I attempted, she was like, no, it's too easy for you. You need to go up. And so I was like, okay.
She starts handling you a little bit. She goes, here's what's going to happen. Give me your cards. I'm going to walk you through this. I got you.
My second meet that I did was actually Nationals 2014.
Whoa,
that's the one that kind of, I don't want to say like put me on the radar because I think powerlifting was like, it grew huge in the past like 2 years.
Yes. 100%.
So I think like that year was when it started kind of like, you know, like, what is this powerlifting thing?
Yeah.
I didn't have a coach at the time, and actually there's a girl, she doesn't compete anymore, or I haven't seen her in a long time. Her name is Meg Tila, and her and I, it was like Jen Thompson.
I remember her. She's a big deadlifter, right? She's a big deadlifter.
Yeah, she's a good deadlifter, really good. Yeah, she's doing her own thing now, but her coach at the time actually handled me.
Really? Took you under his wing?
And we were against each other, you know, competing against each other.
Yeah.
But I didn't have a coach. Like, I was like, oh, what's a handler? I didn't know.
Yeah.
You know?
It's funny enough, you ended up 2.5 kilos behind her. He puts in your last 10 attempt. All right, you're gonna get it. Don't worry. But,
actually, I think she did beat me by 2.5 kilos.
What? Oh my God! How did I know? You just put it together now. You're like, hey,
what?
Hold the fuck on! I think that son of a bitch. Now that I look back, I got 2.5 kilos with me. Start second guessing.
I don't think that was like on purpose. Like, I think he did generally try to help.
third pole just flies up. It's like, all right, I got that.
Megan's like, yo, come on, man. I'm the one paying you, man. But yeah, no kidding. So around walking into these, did you like just in terms of programming and training, or were you just kind of doing your own thing, or?
So I had like a friend of mine who he does coaching, and I had kind of, you know, like, hey, I want to do. I think he gave me a program for Nationals 2014, but he was just like, here's this workout and just do it, and then in 6 weeks I'd be like, hey, I just finished.
Oh, okay, yeah.
He didn't really track anything. I wasn't sending him videos. I don't even know if that was a thing.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I guess I had a program. Someone gave me a program.
Yeah. And did you have did you know in terms of high bar squat, low bar squat, and did you have like a coach like explaining to you levers, like, or did you just work that out on your own? Because your form now, obviously you've come a long way. I mean, were you always like telling this before?
Then actually the low bar, because obviously like when I started, like I don't know the high bar, low bar, like sumo.
Someone's got to tell you, it's not intuitive. It's not intuitive, that's for sure.
Yeah, and I think it was actually when I was working in the lab for school, and I think there's like a couple people who, you know, like powerlift, and you know, they were like, yeah, try low bar, and I remember at first, like when you make the switch, and I'm like, I feel like I'm gonna fall backwards.
Yeah.
So.
And then all of a sudden, did the numbers go up though when you adjusted? You're like, oh damn.
Yeah, but I mean, they kind of just went up anyway, just because I had, you know, like never squatted, so I squatted once, and then like a week later, I was like, you know, 20 pounds, you know, it went up pretty fast at first.
Yeah.
But that was like from switching to high bar to low bar, like I just never squatted, and then I started.
Yeah, so that's easy, yeah. So whereabouts, when did you get, because this is 2014-ish, when did you take that injury that set you back? And let's talk about that. Cause,
so...
Well, are you crying right now? Is this a big story? It looked like you sort of got me right when I brought up the injury. Like, oh damn, this can be a good story.
At the time, it sucked.
Yeah,
it messed with me. So after Nationals 2014, my next competition was going to be the Arnold in 2015. And kind of in between then, I had a lower back. I can't even say there's no initial injury. It was just, you know, just an overuse over time, like subpar form, like, that I kind of ignored. And then, you know, it gets to the point where I couldn't ignore it. So I would just try to take a couple days off, and then I try to go back into it, and then it would make it worse. I was like, okay, well, instead of a couple days, I'll take a week off and try to go right back into it. And then it literally just got to the point where, like, I couldn't get out of bed one morning. It was like, it was so bad. And I'm freaking out. I ended up, like, gosh, I got, like, x-rays, I got MRIs. They thought I had a bone fracture, so I had a bone scan. They thought I fractured my spine.
Wow. So this is getting scary. This is like bigger than just sports. You thought this was going to impact your everyday life.
Yeah, well, I'm like, oh my God, I literally broke my back.
Yeah. Holy frig. This is where your family was probably like, this new sport of yours. What the hell?
Yeah. That's like that anyway when they don't really understand what it is.
Yeah.
Actually, my aunt and uncle came this nationals. They actually flew down from Connecticut to watch me, and after they were like, I have a new appreciation for what you do because, like, they don't know. No. Yeah. It's just like, but to see it, it's like, wow, that was pretty cool.
It's a whole other, well, if you just think of like, we squat, we bench, and you don't understand, like, everyone has 3 attempts, you miss a attempt, you can't go down to weight, like, all the little parts like that make it so, like, nerve-wracking every attempt, right? And
so the easy thing would be like, oh, well, you're hurting yourself doing what you're doing, just stop. And it's like, look, I don't know, you don't understand.
No, you don't know, man. I hate when people like, just take time off. Like, dude, that is really, really hard to do. Yeah.
So I ended up, at that point, I had to pull out from the Arnold, so I obviously didn't compete there. And that was actually the first time that I met who's my coach now, currently, is Chad Wesley Smith.
Yep.
And I met him at the Arnold, and he actually kind of, I was just telling him about my injury, and he kind of reached out after and was like, hey, like, I really, like, I want to help you. He introduced me to Quinn Hennick.
Okay.
Who I don't know if, but he, like, PT, and he was the one who kind of helped me. At that point, I had, like, ignoring it and whatever, and so I was like, okay, well, nothing that I'm doing now is working, so, this can't hurt, and he kind of just gave me, like, breathing exercises and stuff.
Yeah, I was going to say, he's big into bracing and everything, right?
Is that right?
Yeah. Squat over 300, and here, like, why am I going to breathe? Like, how is this happening, But I was like, whatever, okay, like, I'll just do it, and, I took a complete, like, almost 2 months off or something. Yeah, about 2 months almost of just almost no training at all, and then just, like, slowly adding in the breathing exercises. And then, that was like the summer of 2015. 2016. So it was like a year.
Wow. Yes, the time flew by.
Yeah.
And you're watching everybody else around you competing and everyone in your weight class. Yeah.
Like, it was hard. It was really hard because, it was like, wow, my lifts aren't even, like, competitive anymore. Like, even if I did
that's just it. It's, when this happened to you, just running and watching, you might not know. So you came in kind of where the boom came, where a bunch of girls started, like, really started booming, and the IPF went raw, etc. Everyone's excited. You dip out. And then the competitiveness of your weight class, and everyone's, all the women's side and the men's, but the women's just exploded. And you were like, all right, I could do something else. I'm like, holy shit. Yeah, man, so then coming back, this is a much bigger comeback. I'm just hyping up your comeback story right now, by the way.
Yeah, that's cool, because there's definitely times where I was like, I'm done. I'm never, I'm, number one, like, I'm broken, I can't compete, and even if I did better, it's like, I'm not even, in my mind, I was like, I'm not even going to be competitive anymore. Like, why? I should just give up.
Yeah, you have those moments laying on your bed at night, looking up, thinking that? Just like, you have moments laying down in bed at night just thinking, why? Why am I doing this?
Like, I'm done. Yeah.
Wowzers.
I need to give up. And I don't know, there's always, like, that one part of me that wasn't completely ready to give up. And so I think, and actually, you know what, I was getting better, and this is why it took longer, was because I was going to do, it was like the year after the Arnold, I was going to do, there was a meet in April, and that was going to be like a comeback meet.
Yeah.
A month before that, I did like a AMRAP deadlift challenge.
Oh, God. That's entirely, for us, roughed up back.
I got a cool video out of it, because that's obviously what was important, but it was like starting back over. And that's actually, so that, like, after that, that's why it took so long to go, because I had to start back from square one.
So, when this happened, doing this deadlift challenge, when you've already been asking yourself, like, do I want to keep doing this? And then you got re-injured, and you know what, like that happens all the time.
Yeah.
We talked about that the other day at the gym where how often, because you want to come back where athletes were hungry and sit on the sidelines when everyone else is passing you by, everyone's talking about the PRs they're hitting, and then something comes up, you think you want to hop in there a little early, re-injure yourself. Is that probably the lowest of the low right there?
That was hard. Because it was like I was slowly coming back into it. I had actually signed up for another meet that I was supposed to do. And then I did some stupid deadlift AMRAP challenge. And then, same thing. Like the next morning, I could not, like I had to call into work that day.
Oh.
And I thought my boss was going to oh my God, like she's being over dramatic. But it was like, I was seriously can't get out of bed. Like,
you told the truth? You said straight up, I hurt my lower back? You did say you're sick?
Yeah. But I was like, oh my God, he probably thinks I'm lying. Like, I can't come in because my back hurts. Like,
yeah. He's like, how old are you? You're a lady. Yeah.
So finally, my first meet, that I actually, didn't have to pull out of was, it was the American Open last year in 2016 in Orlando. And that was kind of like my first meet back. And
how many meets total was this then for you? Was it your first meet back, but how many meets have you had total?
I had 2.
Yeah, this would be 3.
Wow, man. But you were like a 5-year veteran, but you had 2 meets in your belt. But yeah. So you were battle tested.
The national was 1, 2, 3. My 5th meet ever.
Wow, man. So you've taken on a lot quickly, to say the least. So was there, walking into Orlando, and you hadn't competed in ever, and you're probably a little concerned, were you a little concerned, a little worried about the back, or what?
I was actually, I didn't take my 3rd bench attempt because my back locked up. And so we were actually really, because my back, I was like, I don't know if I can pull. So we started warming up, and we dropped my opener to 350 or something, just so I could, and he's like, okay, are you okay? It's fine, we can go up. And
yeah.
So it was, but actually, the only thing that hurt me was the benches. It kind of my back just locked up after, and so.
Yeah. And then, so what was your total then, at that time?
I squatted 347, this is in pounds.
Yeah.
47, 204, I think. 204 bench, and then...
damn, that's not bad bench.
Yeah, no, and then, I think 418 deadlift.
No kidding. And you felt like that was somewhat conservative?
That was conservative.
Okay. I guess God damn, if that's conservative, girl, you got a lot to
asking about the first meet ever?
Well, in your first one back. When you were in Orlando.
My first meet ever. That was nowhere near.
Oh shit, no.
So this would have been the first one that you did with Chad as your coach? Then?
Was Chad your coach?
Yeah. So that was the first one that I had when I had a coach and a handler.
Yeah. And how much difference was that?
Between
not having a coach and a handler, and all of a sudden you got Chad Wesley Smith. In terms of going, that's like driving in a Miata and driving a fucking Lamborghini. You know what I mean? That's a big jump. That's a jump up in class.
I mean, he's helped a lot. I mean, and I think I was lucky enough too, because a lot now it's there's remote coaching. So I've actually, I just moved to San Diego, but when I initially moved out to California, I was training at Juggernaut, and he would be there, and it was cool because I feel like a lot of people aren't lucky to have their coach with them.
Hell no, yeah.
You can send videos and stuff, but to have him there, and he's I do my set, and he can tell me immediately what I'm doing wrong.
Yeah. Yeah. It's huge, especially like you just said. He can be watching you at all times, where sometimes you take a video and you're ready on that video. You're ever so ready, but he can see you day in, day out when you're unexpecting, little habits you have.
Well, you post the good videos, right?
yeah, that's true. You only posting the good ones.
Not the one where the hips slid back and all of a sudden you're a little stuck. It's no, that delete.
Deleting that bad boy.
I'm not posting that one.
Yeah, for sure. And were you training with Chad? So you actually in the same gym and everything, and Marissa and them? So how much of a difference is that?
We trained together, and actually it was good for us because Marissa is very fast. Even when she's doing her peaking cycle, she'll do a 45-minute workout.
See, I
and
can't.
for me, I know she's crazy. And for me, like I'll like rest 10 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
It takes forever. Yeah. And so like when we worked together and like I would slow her down a little bit and then she would like speed me up. So it was like it was good. We worked very well together, and it's like we were doing similar, like our training days were the same. So like she would squat the same day as me, so it, like it worked out.
Yeah, that's something.
So yeah, it's pretty cool. Training partner, coach,
The dynamic was good. And you have like Marissa who can almost be like a mentor with you. Because she's obviously a world champion now. But she was a world champion time. But yeah, been in the game, whatnot. So the progress, you think, is that when things really start rocking and rolling for you then? Like that's a pretty big comeback.
I would say that it's just I've been consistent. I mean, knock on wood, but I have, like I get aches and pains every now and then. I guess that's expected. But I haven't, like, I've been able to train consistently, and I haven't really had any setbacks. I think that's kind of the big, thing is that a lot, like you can do really well, and then it's like, you tweak something, and you gotta step off, take a step back a little bit. So I've been lucky that I haven't really had anything like that within the last year since I've been back.
And since you've been back, now around the same time, another track athlete girl, Sam Calhoun, decides, hey, I think I might have a little go with this myself. Now the good thing, so you got in your weight class, you happen to have like an icon, Jen Thompson, who's phenomenal. She was on the show, super. And the thing with Jen, if we could toot her horn a minute, she was on the show, crazy nice, super approachable. Even though she's been doing it since the '90s, and some of you, like she's been doing it as long as some of the girls have been alive, right? She's like a living legend, and she's so humble. You know what I mean? Like very approachable. But you have a living legend. You have a multiple-time world champion in your nation, in your weight class, and then you have a girl like Sam Calhoun, almost the same similar background. Like you might be too young for Street Fighter, but Ken and Ryu, the two karate guys are similar. I don't know, it might be before your time, but anyways, you guys just like got that background same. I'm aging myself, aren't I? I just aged myself, but anyways, yeah. So,
because at the time, like when I first started, I don't, like you talk about people who you look up to. So when I was looking into powerlifting, like the women, because, I'm interested in what the women can do. And, of course, like I'm looking at, who am I competing against? And it's like Jen Thompson. I'm like, holy shit.
That's like, I got to fight Mike Tyson? This is my first fight.
Like I knew who she was. And then, of course, like Kimberly Walford is like, another. So the two people that I was really, I don't want to say like there's certain people who I'm like, starstruck by, and the two ones that I first met them at nationals was Jen Thompson and Kimberly Walford, and so Jen was there competing in 2014, and I just remember like, oh my god.
So here's the thing, they say you should never meet your idols because sometimes it can let you down. At the very least, if it's Jen Thompson, like how was it meeting her? Because she's not going to let you down. She's like the encouraging type,
We were like, my first nationals, and we were warming up in the back together. And it was funny because I remember like going on for, like bench and stuff. And so she's in the back, like, 225 for a set of 10. And I'm like, what?
Yeah.
This is her warm up. Like, let me just hit 10 real quick. And I'm like, oh my God, what is going on right now?
Let me loosen up the shoulders a little bit. Yeah.
But yeah, so she's really cool. That was cool. She was nice about it too, because I was like, I need a picture. So we're in the background, like after our first squat or something, and I like got a picture with her.
I find, I feel like the women's are like far more like they're not afraid to say stuff like that. Where sometimes dudes don't want to give props to another dude because they see this it's like weakness or something. You know what I mean? We're like sometimes where the girl's like, fuck it, can I have a picture with you? We're gonna go head to head later today, but who cares? It's all like, you know what I mean? That's what I find anyways.
Well, it's like, when you talk about Sam, I mean, she's really cool. Like her, she's a really cool person, and it's funny because it's like when you're competing, it's like this is my rival, and like not that I want her to lose, but like I want to win. So in order for me to win, like I want you to lose.
Yeah, exactly.
I know she feels the same way, you know, but like it's funny because it's like on the platform we're rivals, and then like we actually like each other off the platform. So
and, so that's a good segue. Coming back, so this is around 2016? Are we on 2016 now?
When I came back?
Yeah, after you hit that, the American Open in Florida?
Yeah. So that was like December 26th. So it was actually a year ago, probably like exactly a year ago.
Oh shit. Okay, so then now we're entering into 2017, and this is really when kind of a bit of drama in your weight class. No one knew, but Jen Thompson had a major injury, and that's an amazing story all into itself.
Yeah, that was
like your weight class like that, you could do a documentary around your weight class for that year.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool to be a part of that weight class, but Jen Thompson going through what she's going through, and then she's got these two young lions, and you and Sam Calhoun, and you guys literally have the exact same year, all damn year. Like you guys walk in with the same total, same.
Like was it like 3?
If you knew, you should have shaved your head. That's what you had to do. You had to shave your head or something. Like it came down to who was like fractions of a gram heavier.
Yeah, literally. Yeah. So actually, my first meet back, I think she was kind of injured during nationals last year. So I think she competed in August, and her total was higher in August than it was at nationals. Mm-hmm. But her total her meet in August was the same that I had in December. And then our next meet we competed in Atlanta, so we competed against each other, and we totaled the same.
What? Okay, so
that's what I said. I think this was the third time. Yeah.
Wow, man.
The body weight, and actually then Natalie Tirana too. So she was another one. She had competed. It was like an NAPF meet, and so all three of us had totaled the same.
Wow, that's too close to call.
And then so leading into nationals, it was like Jen Thompson, and then me, Sam, and Natalie, like kind of
neck and neck. Yeah, I remember in the preview show, we were all saying like this is the one that nobody like. It could be straight down the middle. Who the hell knows?
Well, it was like interesting because it was like because we knew that we didn't really know what had happened with Jen Thompson. Like she didn't really like post about like what was going on, but she had pulled out of World, so like we knew that like she must have been injured or something. But we didn't like if it was going to hinder her in any way. So it's like this could be the year that like maybe like beats her. We don't you don't know, and so there's a lot of hype and leading and a lot of anxiety for me too, like leading into that.
so let's talk about that. So leading in like the week of, how are you dealing with that? Because the hype around your weight class in particular was the one of all the women's. I think was the one everyone was watching.
Yeah, it was pretty exciting.
Could you sleep? How do you deal with it mentally?
Well,
I just try to. I'm trying to, because I'm trying to think of like the week of. I mean, I was nervous, so there was definitely a lot of anxiety. Yeah. But mine was more so that, because I have to cut to 63s. I don't walk around.
Got you.
Yeah, and so this was the first time that I actually did, normally I'd always just dieted down, but I just, it's every year, it's like it gets harder and harder to make weight. So this is the first time that I actually did a water cut. And so my nerves are like 2 days out, and I'm like 2 kilos over or something. I'm like, oh my God, I'm not going to even make weight,
Yeah.
I had a girl or a woman who, she's one of like the top, like weightlifting. So Juggernaut has the like weightlifting side of things too. So she works with a lot of the weightlifters. And she helped me with my water cut, and I was like, okay, I'm trusting you. Like,
I was about to say, how much does it help having coaches with experience that can be like, I got you. Relax, I got you.
A lot. Yeah. A lot. Yes. Yeah. Because I don't think that I would have been able to do what I have done had it not been for, like Chad, Marissa. Her name is the one who did my weight cut was Joanne Ada, so Max Ada's wife.
Yep.
Okay.
Who are like they know, it's like they know, and so there's.
Yeah, it's like when I similar with me, walking into a competition one time, I'm doing a weight cut and I had like Joey Flex help me out. And sometimes when things go a little skew, even though you know everything's gonna be alright, you feel so much better having somebody who's like done it. Especially 100%. It's like walking into a fight and you're bringing your big brother, or for your sister, she's bringing you, right? Like it's you feel a whole lot better in that situation. So the week of, how about the night before? Do you sleep? See, I don't know. Yeah, me neither. And everything ends up okay.
And I mean, it was hard too because we competed later at night, so I don't even think we had weigh-in. What was like 5 or 6 or something was like our actual weigh-in. And so, you know, like, of course I didn't sleep and I woke up at like 5 a.m. or 6 a.m. whatever, like just because I wasn't sleeping anyway. And then I have like 12 hours to like think about it.
Yeah.
And yes, I was literally just like, I stayed in the Airbnb and I, you know, like I was water cutting, so I couldn't drink really. I was like weighing out egg whites and like, I'd go and like step on the scale like with my egg and I'm like, okay, well this is only gonna add a gram.
I know. Yeah, that's it. The last day you're holding your food on the scale and the whole nine. It's not comfortable. If people don't know, like some people don't realize like when they're comparing, if they're not in the sport, comparing like gym lifts to like competition lifts, I'm like, man, it's a whole nother deal when you cut or whatever it is. Not even big cuts. It's just
and that's the thing too is because like I said, I cut weight, so I mean it's probably not ideal, but I've been lucky that like I said that the people that I've worked with, I also work for. Do you know Renaissance Periodization?
Yeah.
Okay, so I actually do their customer service stuff. And so I follow their templates, and so like, you know, for me, cutting weight and trying to not lose strength, like it's common, you know, and it's like if you don't do it right, like you can do gym lift, and that's why you see a lot of people. They're like, well, they did really well in the gym, but like. What happened in the knee?
When you when you're looking on Instagram, and that's like brings up good conversation there. Where do you look at like I know it's hard to not look at other girls and what they're doing or people around your body weight or weight class, but oftentimes you don't know if they're big cutters, and in the gym they could be like 10, 15 pounds heavier, smashing weights, and it can freak you out. You get people who are like, holy smokes. But it's all on the day of. Like, do you do a little scouting before? Or do you tell yourself, I don't want to see it?
Like, you know, I was watching, you know, when Sam would post her deadlift video, I'm like, oh my God, she just did 429 for a triple. Like,
holy shit. You're like, we better have a good subtotal. Yeah. We better get that subtotal going, Chad. Right, yeah.
She's like, I scout a little bit. I don't, like, not so much about like body weight or anything, but you know, like I keep track of like what my competitors are doing.
And it's tough because you don't know what they're weighing in at, if they got a big cut. So some people are better in the gym, they got a big cut coming, they're gonna come down in the weight. You gotta stay calm, cool, and collected. And you know, it's funny that you say that, because like that's everybody. We had Isabella von Weisenberg on here. She was saying she gets freaked right out. She's like, holy shit, I can't believe what these people are doing. Yeah, and it's like, Isabella, you're like a world record breaking. She's like, I still get freaked out. I see other girls, I'm like, oh my God, I can't beat this girl. And I mean, obviously she is who she is, right? But some people don't. Now, how about you posting? Kimberly Walford actually was on here. She said she will withhold some videos and post some training videos after the fact because she knows some girls are watching. Yeah. Are you just basically... whatever it is I'm posting, or do you just not overly think about it, or do you hold back some videos and be like, I don't know?
Yeah, there's some that I've held back a little bit, but I like to be honest, so I don't really hide. Yeah, I mean, I think the ones that I like would hold back would be like I would hit a squat, like a PR or something, but it was high. I couldn't, you know, it's like, okay, it doesn't count, you know, I can't post it, like, new squat PR because it wasn't.
Instagram warriors are like the best judges in the world.
Yeah. No, I would say that I post my lifts. Mm-hmm. You know, I'm not like secretive about it. Like if it's there, it's there. You know, if someone like is stronger than me, it's not because they were like looking at my videos and knowing what I like. You know, it's just they're just stronger. So,
that's true. It is what it is. So the day of hitting that meet, and you guys are going neck and neck. Do you realize just how close it is? Or are you basically, I'm going to do my thing, let whoever's handling you, and I think it was Chad, right? Was it Chad handling you? Mm-hmm. Are you basically just, you load the bar, I hit it? Or are you stopping, chatting with Chad? And are you ever at any point saying, where am I in this meet?
I mean, we talk about it leading up, like what our goals are for the meet. So I know what I want to hit. But then, of course, like, it depends, you know, like, how I'm feeling or, like, what I have, you know, to pull, like what I, so like even the deadlift, that was more than what we had discussed.
Yeah.
He had actually came up to me because, you know, because I'm a good squatter. Sam is a good deadlifter, great deadlifter. And I missed my third squat. I'm so salty about that.
That's good. Yeah.
I wasn't going to bring it up.
We're reliving it right now. You're like, God damn, that squat. Yeah.
But so yeah, after that, it came down to the, you know, like basically the last deadlift. And Chad said, he was like, do you want to, you know, pull what you need to and you can place third? Or do you want to, you know, like go for, like, do you want to go
push it?
Pull, you know, or do you want to pull for second?
Yeah.
You know, like Jen was.
Yeah. Jen was Jen.
Yeah. For second. And so I was like, well, I came here to win.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go for the pole, you know, at least I know that I tried. And so then, yeah, so that's how I ended up.
It's tough when you gotta go. It's tough when you gotta go first, because you did everything you had to do. You did what you had to do. He loaded the bar like this should get you second, and like it kind of did. You guys tied it. You know what I mean? Like it's like he picked it right.
I mean, it wasn't. I mean, so you can if I pull it and I can get second, and then hoping. Well, yeah, I guess you do hope.
You got it. Yeah, it's okay to say it. It's true.
Hope that like she misses, and so if she misses, then I get second, she'll get third, or you know, like if she gets it, and so she ended up getting her third.
And it was such a good battle because when you watch her third, my God, that was a hell of a, like it's one of those lines where should I put 2.5 kilo more? But then what if you missed it? So it's tough when you go first.
Well, that's the thing because I think she pulled, which like she tied, but she knew that you know that she weighed in less than me.
She had a couple things in her favor there.
It's not total. You know, I could chance and go, you know, add the 2.5 kilos, but you know, I could miss it.
Yeah, exactly. That's it. Yeah. Yeah, you played it as well as you could have. After you missed that third squat, you're like, oh shit, that was part of the plan.
Well, because that's my best lift.
Yeah.
Is the squat, and so it's like I know that I have to squat big in order to be competitive. Because like I don't, you know, Sam was a better puller than me. So I had to at least squat, because our bench is pretty much, it's the same. We had the same bench. So it was literally like, I have to just squat more than what she deadlifts.
Yeah.
What she deadlifts, squat more than...
Yeah. So when you missed that, how did you, were you like, was Chad like, all right, take it easy, it's all good, or were you a little rattled? Be like, shit, she didn't miss, because she didn't miss. She didn't miss at all that day. She grinded the shit out of the thirds, but were you a little rattled, or what were you thinking?
Yeah, I mean, after the third, when I missed my third squat, and I was upset, and I even was like to Chad going into bench because I was like, I cannot miss anymore. Like so I even asked him to drop my bench down, and I mean, so Chad, he's been there, he's been around my training. I think he knew that he had it in me, so he basically like, and honestly, he told me no, but. I wanted to do 220, so I did 226. I wanted to drop it to 220.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I can't miss it, you know. But I'm glad that he didn't listen to me because it worked out.
Yeah, for sure. And that's where like having a guy like Chad who's been all over the world competing for years could be like, don't worry, you know. And actually, it helps. Like, you see, these are the type of battles that you're engaging in right now. And like 5 years from now. Like these kind of things, you've seen so many of it, right? Like you missed the lift and then come back and ended up pulling for second and losing just on body weight. And she was a grinder. This was as good of a meet as you're going to have. And Natalie also, so we had, in the 63 kilo class, 3 of you girls were over 500 Wilks. It wasn't Natalie like 498 or something crazy, like basically 500 as well?
Yeah, I think she was 498. She was
something
close.
Around there. We'll round up. And say 4 girls.
I mean, it was close, and I think that we at least lived up. I think we lived up to the hype. I think we made
100% lived up to the hype. Nobody was tuning out big. Oh, that was boring. Like no, that was a good. That was a good lift. That was a good clash for sure. So. To be honest with you, so I do the commentating for the IPF World Championships as well the past couple of years, and that like is as competitive. Some of the weight classes in USAPL Nationals, like yours in particular, that's world class. Like 4 girls, 500 Wilks and up, that's that, man. That's like, it's a shame the U.S. can't house like 3 teams. Right?
Yeah, I think that either at least for 63s, I would say that like the USAPL is more competitive, at least like for our class, than this. Well, I can't say that because I think there was a couple girls that were out there, like who didn't compete. Like Jen Thompson was one of them. So I know that like it was like me, Natalie, had any one of us been on the world team that we would have won.
Yeah, and that's huge.
Granted, like Jen Thompson was out. I think there's another a Russian girl who didn't compete or something like that. So can't say that, but yeah, it would.
Do you ever talk to Jen and be like, come on, man, you just want to like go to 72 or some shit or what? You know, like, you eat whatever you want, take it easy, man.
Just go up.
Just go up. It's a bad cut for you. I don't like how it looked. It's tough. Just talking to it. Looking at the future, is your next one now the Arnolds?
Yeah.
And is Sam Calhoun also doing the Arnolds?
I think, yeah. So I think we're both doing the Pro American. I think Jen Thompson will be doing the Grand Prix, but I don't think they've really. I don't know because I don't think they've posted that roster yet. I could be wrong, but I don't think I've seen it. So yeah, it would be me and Sam.
And this is like here we freaking go again. Like holy shit!
I know. I was like, girl, I was like, we are done. We are not totaling this team anymore. Like,
or you're telling your coach like, I'm gonna cut an extra pound of water this time.
I'm just gonna weigh in at like 59.
Yeah, 59 kilo. Jesus, that's when it starts getting to you. Yeah, but it is great battles. I know everyone's gonna be watching. Now, leading into I'm not sure how the USCPL works in terms of worlds, but do you guys ever send 2 people in a weight class every now and then, right?
Yeah, I think that they can, but I guess it's weird because it's like you can send 2 but not 3. So I think that Sam would be the first alternate and I would be the second. But yeah, we would both be 63. So I don't know how that would work.
Yeah, because that's the thing.
If like we were, like I might have to compete at 72 or something.
Oh shit! Well, take it if it comes for sure. But
I have no idea how that works.
It makes you, how long, like, how old, do you know how old Jen is right now? I shouldn't ask you that, put you on the spot. I'll ask you, Ryan. I'll put you on the spot.
I don't know, but she's definitely in her 40s.
Yeah, she's around 43.
I was going to say 43, 44.
I think she's 43, 44. I remember we asked, I can't remember now. I'm blanking out, early 40s, but, so she's got to be human. She can't last forever, right? You guys are in your 20s. But,
it's crazy if you think about it. I mean, like, at least for women, Marissa Inda, she's in her 40s.
Yeah.
IP world champion.
Liz Craven.
Milliken, I don't know how old she is, but
we had her on. She's
like in her 30s.
Mid-30s. She looks like she's like your age, but she is mid-30s.
She looks like 21, but
Liz Craven is early 40s.
Yeah.
Kim Walford is like 37, 38.
She's actually, I think she's a year older than me, so I think she's born in 78, so she'd be 39. She's moving into like, she should be a master next year.
Yeah. And then, like some of the best lifters, I mean, they're in their 40s.
Yeah, and that makes, it's encouraging because, like, like for anyone watching, man, some people like literally in their 20s thinking it's too late to get involved in sports to actually make it anywhere. Man, a lot of people start in their 20s, and a lot of people finish God knows when. Like, you could be hitting your peak, like, in 15 years.
Is that it now? Like, are they meant to peak later?
Yeah.
Because when you look at the world scenario, right, it's like,
crazy.
They're all over 35.
Yeah, is there more women peaking around 40 than men?
Well,
we got David Ricks.
That's what I was going to say. Ricks is 57.
We got David Ricks. We got David Ricks. So that's the one guy everybody can be like, oh shit, maybe my prime is 57. Maybe
right.
I'm pacing for 57.
Yeah.
That's all. So what are some of your future goals you got looking ahead? Besides beating Sam at the Arnolds.
I mean, I would like to win. I would like to win the place first in the 63 weight class. That's a huge goal, obviously, but that's Sam's goal. Jen Thompson try and maintain that throne for as long as possible. So, we'll see. But yeah, so that would definitely be a goal. And then we'll see about the squat record.
Yeah. I mean, you being in the position you are, and it's totally conceivable if you were to say, look, I would love, by the time I hang it up, to be an IPF world champion. You already know it could easily happen. It's like, if you look at it, Jen's in her early 40s, and like you start getting injured, and she has, etc. Already didn't make one of them. It could be like it's between you and Sam battling it out, and whoever gets that spot could be the world champion.
Pretty much the same age, so it's gonna be like us in our 40s, like
just giving her.
You're gonna see her at 40. God damn it! Would you take a year off and relax, have kids, enjoy life?
Yeah.
What is going on?
Just set up. You have kids first, and then I'll have mine.
Let's start pacing
our
kids.
Go ahead, like yours in like 2 years, I'll have mine like.
That's right. Do you know if we work this out, we can swap back and forth? We wins.
We're just world champions back and forth.
We don't have to do this to each other. Yeah, man, it's close. So, in terms of a little bit of, because we've already been now deep, let me ask you a little bit about your training, because I know some people watching want to know. We got to get a couple training questions in there. Is there some assistant stuff that you do, and also looking at how some of your cycles work? So in terms of like, do you have a volume cycle and then a taper?
Yep. Yeah, so his Chad's programming, I mean, is pretty straightforward. And you could probably even like find it online. It's nothing like special. We do in the off season. So actually this past off season, I told him I wanted to feel more athletic. So he had me programming like hill sprints.
Oh shit.
And box stuff. Yeah, so like I wanted conditioning just because I was like, I feel strong, but I just feel like I can't move.
Yeah.
So I think it was like 7 weeks. We did more of like, I was still squatting and benching and deadlifting, but it was more like like sets of nothing, like it wasn't intense. We were actually kind of focusing more on like minimal rest periods.
So when not intense, are you thinking like it's, do you do RPE or percentage based?
Yeah, we do. It's kind of a both. So, because Chad will give me, like my top set, but if it's not there, I'm not going to push it.
Yeah.
You can tell like leading up if I'm like, okay, that like your warm ups look great. Well, actually, I guess for me, like Chad says I get faster, like the heavier the weight gets.
Yeah, you take more Cs. Yeah.
So, yeah.
So these like sprints and whatnot, did you feel like it helped out? Like you feel a little more pop off the floor with deads or anything like that?
I don't know if it would have any direct correlation with like my lifting, but it's just like powerlifting is monotonous. Like, mentally, I was like, I need just to do something different. Have I noticed a difference? Like, I don't know, maybe I could like. I started actually back with like my volume cycle. So right now I'm doing like 6 to 8 reps, 4, 5, 6 sets depending, like leading up.
Damn, that's a lot of volume.
Yeah. Yes, I know.
Well, I did one of Chad's programs off of one of his books, and
did you?
Like, my buddies, I'm getting out of the car. The guys see me walking into the gym every day, and they're like, "You've been limping for a month."
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, and I haven't squatted over like 70% once.
So do you guys do you taper and start doing triples and singles eventually?
Oh yeah. So leading up, right now I'm in a higher volume block, and we'll do that probably for another couple of weeks, and then like deload for a week, and then we'll go into like the strength block, and that will be heavy triples, probably as we get closer to the meet, working up to like a single, and then a lot of, so like how we do it a lot would be like working up to especially during peaking, working up to a heavy single and then doing drop sets.
Get your volume in there afterwards. Yeah. So that's the thing when you do a single, like it's good for the nervous system, but then you also need some little volume added at the end to get some work done too, right?
It's always like if drop sets or down sets, I get yelled at when I say drop. It's like drop sets or bodybuilding. Okay, whatever.
Yeah.
I was like, those are always worse than the top set because it's like you set yourself up and go, and then I'm like, okay, I'm done, and it's like the back up.
Yeah, it's like the kick in the pants and you're not done yet. Yeah.
The first rep, you're just like,
yeah, damn it, man. I'm not as psyched up for this.
No.
And are you kind of, I noticed Marissa in this, she somewhat cycles, I think it's like smaller kind of peaking and then drop it down the 4th week and then ramp it back up, or are there kind of like mini cycles like that for you as well, or?
Yeah, we, for the most part, because me and, we train together, so he would keep, obviously, like, the weights would be different, or some of the volume would be different between me and her, but, yeah, I mean, for the most part, it's similar. I think one time we tried doing, normally it's, like, 3 weeks of training, and then, like, a deload week, and I think we tried once of doing, like, 5 or 6 weeks of heavy training, and then a deload, and it just, like, I couldn't do it. It just, like, it destroyed me. So we were like, okay, like, this is a good, like, the 3 weeks, and then the week off works, where I think Marissa can actually get away with doing, like, maybe 4 weeks of training and deload.
It's interesting to say that, because there is, like, it's kind of different for everybody. I mean, we have, like, a lot of people on, and some people can, like, stay high for long periods, and other people, like, look, I try that, I'm going to leave my best in the gym. I'm not going to make it to the meet, like, 100%. You got to kind of try it and figure it out. It's kind of good that you and Marissa are on the same page with that.
Yeah, for sure. Can you guys see me? Oh, okay, there we go.
Yeah, we see you.
I wanted to do, like, a random update.
No, we got you. Yeah, one of those random updates and buy some freaking security thing or whatever.
Different for everyone, and I think, part of the reason that I was injured, when I got injured, it was, like, the amount of volume that I was doing was just, I couldn't handle it. I was squatting 3 days a week, and deadlift, like, heavy, and deadlifting twice a week, benching 3 or 4 times a week.
Wow, 3 times a week and then deading twice. That is a lot, yeah.
Yeah, and it like, just for, I mean, there's people who do it and they respond well to it, and I couldn't do it. And so the nice thing with like the way that Chad does his programming is I actually train usually 5 or 6 days a week. But I'll have one lift. So a lot of people, they'll have like squats and then their bench, where I'll have my squat and then I just, like my accessories. And then Tuesday will be my bench and then accessories, Wednesdays deadlift. And and that's worked really well for me, just because, like, I'm so beat up by the time I'm done with, like you said, like the top set, and then even anything after is just brutal. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, like, it works well for me for sure.
Do you do stuff like pause squats or pause mid shin for deads, or like accessory stuff in terms of deading off of blocks and stuff like that? Do you incorporate that, or usually just straight competition lift?
I mean, it depends on how, like, so if I'm further out from the meet, like, we'll do like, especially with our volume block, it's usually high bar. And because I pull sumo, so during the off season, we'll be doing a lot of conventional pulls. And especially for me, just because of, like, my path, like with my back, I can't deadlift 2 heavy weeks in a row. Like, it just, like, after I do a heavy deadlift, my back is usually just kind of tight after. Yeah. And so usually what we'll do is, like, 1 week will be like a heavy deadlift, and then the next week will be something like block pulls or something, and like more, like stiff-legged or something, like just a variation, just to kind of give myself, like, a little bit of rest, because I don't know if, like, my back just couldn't handle doing that every week.
Do you do much pause work? Do you incorporate pauses in your squats or deads at, like, the mid shin or anything like that?
Yeah. I mean, I did it this last training cycle, but I think the training cycle before that I had pause squats. I don't really do too much pausing with deadlifts usually, but usually, like, with deadlifts, it's just the competition. But yeah, with squats, we'll do a little bit more of a variation, depending. Right now, it's trying to keep my knees out, so I've been doing a lot of like belt squats.
Yeah, and it helps break up some monotony too, to, like, incorporate some different stuff.
And it takes a lot of the pressure off of my back too. So I could do those for, like, a lot of volume, whereas, like, the squatting can kind of compress my back sometimes.
Did you have a couple questions you want to answer?
Yeah, so I always got one I ask at the end for everybody.
to throw these 3 things in order for a beginner lifter. So technique, programming, and intensity. To you, what are the most important for the beginner?
Technique.
Thank you.
100% technique first.
Yeah.
What was it? So technique, programming, and then
intensity.
And then Jesus. Was that you?
Just how, like, you know how while we talked to Deadlift Panda.
Yeah. Ren. Yeah,
we had Ren on.
My gym too. It's so funny.
Yeah, we see. Yeah.
And yeah, he said he always used to, like, before he got any programming, like, he was just going in YOLO lifting, like, every week.
Yeah. Intense
as all can be. So he kind of put that second before programming in his, order of importance. Technique first, obviously.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just, for the beginners, I kind of found sometimes they fall into a program too quick before they know what their RPE is or before they can figure out the percentage of what it actually is, because they're advancing so quickly.
Yeah.
Your first 6 months, you PR pretty much every week for as long as you can.
Yeah.
And then, now you have your 1 rep max, right? So I was just kind of thinking what your order of importance would be, especially coming off an injury and now working with Chad and...
technique for sure. And then, I guess maybe not programming per se, because as long as you're squatting and benching and deadlifting more, as long as you're consistent, you're going to get there.
Yes.
You become a better lifter that, might play a bigger role. But I think overall, instead of, it would just be more consistency. Don't, be a program. If you're doing a program, just follow it and follow through with it, and then don't I didn't like this one, so I'm just going to do this other one instead.
That's key, especially this day and age where so many programs available, so many coaches available. People bounce around so quickly. Whereas, for instance, you're with Chad for a little while now. He gets to know you. He gets to be like, here's what I find. You peak better mini cycles like Marissa. Some people will peak better 8 weeks, but if you just bounce around, you're going to get, if a guy doesn't know you or a girl doesn't know you for coaching, they're going to float you first the template cookie cutter here's what I give everybody. Then let's see how it works and take it from there.
Yep.
We're going to shorten your peaking cycles or shorten your volume. You got to find out through data. And that's where I think the availability coaching honestly can work the other way, where you could bounce around with all the biggest names. You just got to, fire that e-transfer. Whereas just if you hunker down with one coach.
Yeah. And it's all, honestly, it's all trial and error. And I guess, a good example of that, because I've been working with Chad, and my nationals prep, it was, it could not have gone any more perfectly. Even when I competed, some of those lifts, my squat and deadlift, I got my 3rd attempt, I was like, wow, I had another 2.5 kilos.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, I definitely had more in me. And I was kind of surprised by it. Whereas when we were peaking for my meet back in August, which was Summer Showdown in Atlanta with Sam, and that one was really hard. That was a really hard prep. And what happened was, not what happened, but the difference that why my prep was better this time around was that I had squatting, so I was squatting 3 days a week, but my squat on Wednesday was too heavy, too intense. Yeah. So when it came Friday, and Friday was my max single, I wasn't recovering well enough. Where Marissa, she was fine because even though percentage wise she was doing the same as me, but it's still more weight. So for me, it just it fatigued me. I wasn't recovering, and so after that, I was I feel I got hit by a bus. It was a rough prep. And so after that, Chad was kind of okay, you know what? I think we'll lower your intensity on Wednesday. You'll still squat, but we'll keep it we'll keep it lighter. And so when it would come, on Friday with my heavy squat, it was fine. And that's kind of the thing that, when you work with a coach, it's trial and error. That's it. But starting off, you have to start somewhere, and then you kind of learn along the way. So if you're switching coaches, if I was well, that was a really bad prep, I'm going to go with a coach.
Yeah, and just it's got to be. See, a lot of people too, because it's a sport, it's not a team sport. So, and a lot of times you don't want to hang it necessarily on, the lifter doesn't want to hang it on themselves, so you say, I'm bouncing, getting another coach. Whereas sometimes it's like, stick to it, unless it's like some coaches might be just shooting off cookie cutter stuff and not making adjustments. You know, you just have like, available online, you take 150 people, they're not going to get the same as perhaps maybe you're getting with Chad, which is like, you got an amazing setup right there.
Yeah, I mean, I'm lucky that when I have like that one-on-one.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think, I mean, especially for a new lifter, like I said, I mean, it's just, if you have a coach, just, I mean, stick it out, you know, don't just...
See what happens, see what's up, and do your research ahead of time. You know?
And yeah, yes.
Like, obviously, you didn't have to do too much research with Chad. It was pretty easy. Is he good? Yeah, like, yeah, he's alright. He's alright. You'll be alright. You should be okay. You should be okay. It's funny, so we got you on today, and Sam's actually going to be on Thursday. Might want to check that out. Yeah, full disclosure, you guys are going to be watching each other's, see what's up, watching each other's videos.
Competitive, like, oh.
Yeah,
I did it first.
That's right. I was there first. She'll come on, do the podcast.
Comment on her and be like, oh, I hear you're going to be here on Saturday.
That's right. She'll come on the podcast weighing slightly less. Fractionally less. That's what she'll post. I think I'm slightly less. I went on body weight again. Is there one question we always ask somebody, and the last question, we'll let you go. We got you for over an hour now. Thank you very much, by the way. You're a good podcast guest. But how would you like to be remembered when all is said and done, and you have an opportunity to look back on this?
Oh gosh, that is a good question. I don't really know. I mean, I would just like to be like, she was a great lifter, but also like a good person. I guess it's hard because, you know, sometimes it's like you look at people and you see their Instagram, but you know, like when you meet people in person, and you know, it's like it's. And I hope that they're like, yeah, she was really, like, I met her and she was nice. You know,
it's the best, probably the biggest compliment would be like we were saying earlier, like you get a Jen Thompson, but when you meet her, she lights up. You know, there's so many people, like you see someone's Instagram videos, you meet them, and it's like, oh, damn, that person was...
Kimberly Walford is like that. If you ever, like, you watch her and she's like, oh my God, like she's going to kill somebody.
Yeah, no, she's intense.
Like on the platform, like she looked mean. Yeah. But then, like, if you ever, I mean, the first time I ever met her, actually nationals, and she was like, "Can I have like you did so good. I'm so proud of you." And I was like, "Oh my God."
Yeah. No, true story. Me and my girlfriend. This is going back. And by the way, you're one of my girlfriend's favorite lifters. I'll throw that out. Yeah. She was excited you're on here. Me and my girlfriend were at the American Open. This is going back a few years. Kimberly was back there. True story. Helping out like new people, introducing herself, and like people like kind of like nervous to go talk to her, but she was like approaching other people.
She looks intimidating.
Yeah, because she's strong. She's like 5'9". She's like built, and but she got the sense that someone wanted to talk to her and was a little intimidated. She'd break the ice first, and like she's that person, which is good. You know what I mean? Not everybody's like that. So anyways, I know what you mean. Where if ever you build a reputation, your reputation's growing. Especially you guys keep having these battles, more and more people are going to be watching, right?
Yeah,
means a lot. Means a lot when people talk about you that way. Pay it forward type deal. Anyways, listen, good luck at the Arnolds. Thank you for coming on the show. Love to have you on again, 100%. Maybe after the Arnolds, we'll do a little recap with you again. And maybe you and Sam Calhoun won't have the same total.
Maybe we can do it at the Arnold, and we can do a me and Sam collaboration.
Hey, that's a really good idea. Yeah, for sure.
You text Sam, set it up. Bring your computers. Make sure you got Wi-Fi.
That's right. Or we'll be at Arnold's, baby. We'll see.
Yeah.
Okay, sounds good. Thanks for coming on. Much appreciated, and good luck with the training.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you guys for having me.
No worries.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. That was a good interview. Yeah, man, I love the, I remember, like, talking to everybody. I'm going to try to drop this for a second here. Talking to everybody leading into the 63 kilo class.
Yeah.
Honestly, this was the big one. This was the one, like there was no joke. It doesn't matter who you talk to. I mean, there was, just think of some of the other showdowns. Obviously, like the 93 kilo ended up being when Ashton took it from LS. But you didn't necessarily know, like, the hype. The hype around this one. All these girls were like neck and neck. And we didn't even know about, like, you know, after the fact, Jen Thompson battling back at 43 or 44 around that range from like career-ending injuries, and then she came back to win. It's like an amazing story.
Well, the 63s and the 83s.
Yeah, the men. Yeah.
It was crazy.
Yeah.
Like,
and you started having some people emerging, like, we also touched up on briefly how quickly the sport's growing.
Yeah.
But if you look at, like, the 83, like, every couple of years feels like it was just 2 years ago, Hack kind of emerged.
Yeah.
In 2015, no one's talking about Hack. 2016, the guy comes out of nowhere and he's the IPF world champion. Everyone's all Hack.
Yeah.
Then 2 years later, now we got Russell. And everybody's like, oh my God, this guy's a beast. Like, every couple of years, you got stars. The big thing is, in all sports, you can have yourself a Mike Tyson situation where you're just coming in and you're beating everybody up. But to emerge really, usually, to get like mainstream and get everybody focused on you, you need rivalries.
Yeah, 100%.
You have to have rivalries. And that's what these guys got.
Yeah.
They're the same age. You have a living legend inside the weight class. Beautiful. Because it gives credibility there. And then you have like a rivalry between two girls that are like uber competitive at the world. Any one of them. I wasn't just for real.
No,
anyone could be a world champion.
They go to worlds 100%.
So that's what makes it so exciting, right? So we'll see what happens. Everybody watching our.
And that's what the 83 needs back.
And that's where right now it's a bit
like now.
So we'll see what happens with Brett. Because he's probably going to stay 83. I know for a little while he flirted with the idea of 93, but he's 5'6", although Screamer Manuel and Bryce are like 5'6", and they're 105.
Yeah.
So you never know.
Yeah, you never know.
But I would love to see a showdown between Russell and Brett.
Well, because that's that's what it's missing, right? Because the girls here have it inside the country, so it's gonna happen.
100%.
Time after time.
Time after time.
It's gonna happen. It's the worlds that it just misses, and that's where it's like, come on, we need that.
Everybody
now.
Show up.
Yeah.
Imagine Hack comes back. Hack can't come back yet because he's done another run where he's out of the loop for another year.
Right.
By the time Hack comes back, and Hack's still progressing himself.
Yeah.
But by the time he comes back, if Brett has re-won the worlds, or if Russell has won, if you got IPF winner Hack, IPF winner Russell, IPF winner Brett, and they all hit up, that'd be a massive.
And that the 83 again. There's he's coming up.
Yeah.
There's people flying into that division.
Yeah, and he's very small. Like he's a small 83 kilo.
Yeah.
How much did he say he weighed?
I think he said he walks around at 85.
Yeah, so he's
like, and that's now.
Yeah.
That wasn't like before he was like 82.
He's only been doing it for 2 years. He's already deadlifting 750 pounds.
Yeah.
So he could, who knows? I know he's 5th at nationals this year, but the only thing is the toughest part is when you come in through the U.S., man, making a national team.
Well, that's it. Well, especially because they only take one.
Yeah.
That's,
odd time. I think they're allowed 2 divisions are allowed to take 2.
Oh, okay.
But damn, man, you see how stacked every division is?
Well, that's it.
You know what I mean?
Like we said, like the top 4.
And here's something I want to see. Talking about people coming back. Like Hack possibly come back in 83. I want Jesse Norris to come back. Ashton is 20 years old. Now some people, I mentioned this to Flex. My man Flex was like, and he's a big time Norris guy.
Yeah.
He's like, dude, Norris is the GOAT. Norris beats everybody hands down. The thing is, Ashton's 20 years old. Let's say Ashton at 22. And Ashton's already hitting an 840 kilo total now. Him and Norris could be about, and Norris is kind of hot cold. Norris is amazing. He's a little hot cold.
He just popped again, I think.
Ooh,
he just hurt his back again.
Oh, yeah, he hurt his back.
Like,
yeah.
4 or 5 days ago.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah.
Is that breaking? No kidding. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Damn.
I'm pretty sure I've seen on the Instagrams.
I think it was Candido who had mentioned when I posted on the King of Lifts about, imagine that showdown.
Right.
And he's like, Norris in 93, nobody beats Norris. And I was just like, Norris healthy, no one beats him.
Yes.
Like, yeah, but it's like 50-50 if he's healthy.
Yeah.
Like, look, I think Norris is amazing.
Yeah,
It's 50-50 if he's healthy. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
It's if he even makes it there, and if he does make it there, he's 100%.
Again, how long does Ashton hold in 93 before he outgrows it? Because the guy's a monster.
Yeah.
And then how long does Russell hold 83 before he outgrows it?
Yeah. Or do they...
Like, that's what I mean. Like, these guys are huge. Like, for their class. Like,
and they're all juniors.
Yeah.
There's
so young. That's what I mean. They're so young.
There was a time in powerlifting where, when I say a time, she's talking about 2015 or 2014 when it hadn't blown up yet.
Yeah.
Previous to this big blow up, if you were junior, you weren't in the open, you were protected staying in the juniors.
Yes.
Okay? And like the open or the big boys play. Nowadays,
they're dude's 20,
dude's 20, 21, 20, man, this dude was fucking a teenager last year. How is this, like this, that would never happen. John Hack won it as a junior.
Well, what's his name? Pena, whatever.
The
big Texas kid.
Yeah.
Going in squat 800 or something. Like, you're 18 years old.
Yeah, he's a kid.
What are you doing?
He's just a kid.
Like,
Yeah.
that's not right.
So it's the beautiful thing about the sport is like anybody can come out of nowhere
Yeah.
and smash. Within 2 years, the whole thing gets rewritten.
Yeah.
So you wonder, and here's another thing that's got to be said. Like I know everyone's saying that Jesse's the man in '93. There's a bit of pressure where if Jesse's already the man, he doesn't have to show up. Him showing up the Worlds, he can only lose.
He can only go down if he doesn't win. Yeah.
He's already the man. So it puts more pressure on somebody when people talk like that.
Yeah.
He's the man. He's the man. It's like, well, then why would I show up? Because I'm risking a title I have no matter what if I don't show up. If I do show up, I can only lose it to a guy like Ashton or a guy like, I mean, the dude from the Ukraine, I keep messing up his name. Every time I try to read on Instagram, it's written in Ukraine.
Yeah.
I'm going to call him Antonio or whatever. A beast. Kid's a beast. He was 21, and he's hitting 840 kilo total as well, man. So I take nothing for granted. I've seen enough sessions with the IPF Worlds live where like anything can happen. You know what I mean?
No, for sure.
But anyways, yeah, another wicked episode. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Pack Lapadat. My man, this is for the YouTube.
Yeah, we timed out on Instagram.
Pack Lapadat. My man Ryan Gregnol.
There we go.
We'll see you next time.
There, guys.
Did we just time out?
I think we timed out a little bit ago, but.
Oh, Joey Flex just hit me up. Okay, I'm gonna share this.